Hi there, I'm Diana and I teach the Yoga Inspired Movement class at Merchant City Yoga every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The aim of the class is to help you build confidence in your body through movement, and we do that by looking at various different movement practices. So I weave in traditional yoga postures as well as functional movement, mobility, and kind of like hints of martial arts, like qigong, and things like somatic therapy, to really help us build a connection to our body and to start to feel strong and resilient, and to help us combat the kind of day-to-day lives that we lead. The purpose of this video is to just give you a short insight into what you can expect in one of my classes. And you can kind of do it at any time of day. The way I've planned it is it's quite good for if maybe you haven't been able to move today or you haven't been able to exercise. It's just a good way to get the whole body moving. So we're going to start by sitting down. So just find a comfortable seated position. And we're just going to start by circling our head. So dropping the head forward, sending it to the right side, our right shoulder, then round and back, then towards the left shoulder, and then back to the centre. And just doing that for a few breaths, checking in with the breath and using our breath to guide us here. And if this is the first time you've been moving today, you might want to make the circles a little bit small, not to go too deep, and then going the other way towards the left. So dropping our head forward, sending it towards the left shoulder, towards the back, towards the right shoulder, and then just doing that for a few more times. And then coming back to center, and then start circling our shoulders. So bringing your shoulders all the way up, then forward and down, and you might find it helps to use your fingers to help guide you here. So just send them back down, up and then up and then back. Always coming back to the breath when we feel a little bit comfortable, once we've been doing it a few times. And again, they don't need to be too big, the circles, just even a small movement will help. And then going to our wrists. So just starting to circle our wrists, going clockwise for a few, and then anti-clockwise. You might hear a few clicks here. Nice. And then coming into all fours, we're going to do a few cat-cows here. So settling on an exhale. As we inhale, we're going to drop our belly and send our chest and our head forwards, gaze forwards. As we exhale, push into the hands, start to curve that upper spine there. Drop the head and look towards the back of the room. Inhale, dropping the belly, sending the head and the chest forwards. Exhaling, push into the hands, drop the head, curving our spine, sending our gaze back. Then just doing that a few more times at your own pace there. Nice. And then coming to center, we're going to go into then coming to center, we're going to go into downward dog. So we're going to push into our hands as we start to lift our knees up off the ground. Starting to feel strong there. You can move the legs back and forth. Don't stay here for too long. Then we're going to start to send our chest towards our legs. Start to straighten those legs and coming into a downward dog. And you can start to pedal the feet here. Again, just introducing more movement into the body. And drop the head here. And breathing. And then we're going to look towards our hands. Now I want you to imagine as though you're going to crawl towards your hands. So bend your knees as much as you need to here. And then bit by bit, we're going to start to crawl up into our hands as we come into our forward fold. So drop the head here. Keep the knees bent as much as you need to get the hands on the ground, and breathe. We're going to come up into standing, but I want you to picture strong glutes here. So strong in the glutes, give them a little squeeze if you need to. As you start to come up to standing, vertebra by vertebra, all the way up. Nice. So we're going to start circling the ankles here. So start with the right. What I tend to do is picture as though that right big toe is drawing a circle on the ground. So going clockwise, drawing some circles. Again, all these circles can be as big or as little as what feels comfortable for you today. And then the other way. So going up, pointing that toe and then back, and then to the other foot. Going round one way, starting to introduce some ankle mobility here, and then the other way. And let's see if we can challenge our brains a little now. So on the right foot, let's see if you can bring all your toes up off the ground. And then see if you can place just the big toe down. So all the other toes might want to move with it, but let's just see how that feels today. And then see if you can bring just the second toe down and the other three are up in the air. And then the third toe. And by this point, all my toes are down on the mat, and that's okay. It's just about challenging ourselves. And then that fourth toe, and then that little toe at the end. And then let's see if you can bring up just the little toe. Hard, I know. And then the second, and then the third, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. See if you can do that on the other side. So all the toes come up. See if you can bring just the big toe down on the mat. And then the second toe, and then the third toe, fourth and fifth. So it might be a movement you've never done before. So it's going to be challenging, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it. And then bring the little toe up if you can, just the little toe, and then that second toe, and then the third biggest, and the fourth biggest, and then the big toe. Nice, and then just give those a wee wiggle there. And then let's see if you can keep a slight bend in your knees. We're going to see if we can just bring both of our heels up. And really think about your calves here. They're supporting this movement. Coming up. And then down, so coming to the balls of our feet. Nice. So we can do a few more of those. Nice. And let's see if we can go into a chair pose. So you can bring your arms up here. We're just picturing as though we're sitting back down on a chair. Okay. And then while we're here, let's see if we can increase the intensity. So then bringing our heels up while we're here. And I won't have you doing this for too long. A few more. And up and down, and then coming up and shake those legs out. Nice. And let's see if we can look at the mobility of our hips. So what we're going to do is go into a balance now. So we're going to balance on our left leg. So we're going to bring our right leg up. But before you bring it all the way up, have a look at what that left leg is doing. So with your toes, I like to picture as though my toes are nice and wide and they're almost clutching onto the mat as though it was a hand. So your feet are your hands now. Keep a slight bend in that leg. I find that helps me to access the muscles in that leg. So even if you like pick and prod, we do this quite a lot in my classes, just to really get that brain fired as well. So it's that front muscle strong, our back, our calves, our glutes here. And then we're going to bring that right leg up. And I want you to start to bring it up towards your chest. But instead of falling into that left hip, see if you can use your muscles, so your glutes and your quads and the rest of your leg to really start to squeeze it in, so it's your muscles that are doing the work here. And then let's see if we can open that right hip towards the right side of the room. And then let's see if you can start to twist it all the way back to come to parallel. And again, only go as far as feels comfortable for you. And then sending that leg back, squeeze of that glute, And then start to curve your spine all the way around, giving that leg a hug. Nice, checking in with a strong leg on the left, strong glute on the right. We're going to open that right leg towards the right side. See if we can then bring it parallel. Might hear a few clicks here and there in the hips. And then straightening that leg back, strong glute here. And then curving that spine, giving it a hug. Nice. One more time. Strong in that left leg, strong in our right leg here as we extend that right leg towards the right side. And then see if we can bring it parallel. And then sending it all the way back, strong in that glute there, and then hugging all the way around and then down. Nice. So at the other side, so right foot, hand, keeping it nice and stable, slight bend in our right foot, strong in all our muscles, and then lifting that left leg. And again, remember that, see if you can use your muscles to bring that leg closer instead of falling into that right hip. So we're strong. See if you can take that left leg towards the left side, opening that hip. See if you can then bring it parallel. And then straightening that leg all the way back, strong in that glute, and then curving around to give that leg a hug. Nice. Strong on the right leg, strong on the left glute, opening that hip up to the left side, bringing it parallel, sending it all the way back, squeezing that glute, and bringing it all the way around, giving it a hug. Nice. One more time. Opening that leg towards the left side, bringing it parallel, sending it all the way back, and then giving it a hug. Nice. And then shaking it all the way out. We're going to go back on the mat now. So inhaling, bringing our arms up. Exhaling, folding forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands on the mat here. Then we're going to send our right foot followed by the left to come into our plank. So in your plank, you're pushing into the hand. You're strong here. Strong core. And your glutes aren't entirely switched off either, so they're strong and they're supporting you too. What we're going to do is we're going to start to send our weight towards the right hand. And then we're going to start to take our right leg off the mat and we're going to twist towards the left side. It's going to look something like this. We're then going to twist back, so our left hand's going to come on the mat, that right leg is going to come back on the mat, and then we're going to start to send our weight towards the left side now, and that left leg's going to come off the mat. We're going to twist towards the right side. So it's going to look something like this. So you might have seen this before. So it's going to look like this. So we're trying to find flow here. We're trying to see how smooth we can make it by utilising our breath. And I really want you to think about your core here. What's your core doing in order to keep you strong, to keep you stabilised? And again, you can go back to that touch. See what your core feels like in this movement. So doing that for a few more times. It's strong, but you got it. Nice, and then coming back to your downward dog, dropping the knees, go into your much deserved child's pose. Breathing there for a few. So that's the end of that short movement practice. You can stay in your child's pose for as long as you need to as you come down. And if you enjoyed this video, I do have a longer video that I filmed for Merchant City Yoga, which you can find on their YouTube page, which will give you even more of an idea of different things you can expect in my class. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you have a great day.